Hey, what's going on, guys? It is TemperAlliance, and today in this video we're going to be talking about the enjoyment of video games. Now, this topic kind of came to mind after editing the last video, and it kind of got me thinking, what did people back then, back probably like 1960, do? Because there was no such thing as video games, and there was no such thing as the internet, so pretty much going on the computer or going on a console wasn't really an option, and the only option was either going outside or watching TV. And like right now, those options kind of seem boring because mostly guys anyway use video games to entertain themselves, and girls normally use makeup and drinks and fags and discos to entertain themselves, so they're pretty much sorted. And for the guys, they use video games. Now, all guys are the same. Some guys actually do the same thing as girls, well, besides for the makeup, of course. They drink, smoke, and disco. That's pretty much their entertainment. But mostly, probably like 90% of guys use video games to entertain themselves. And for back then, there was no video games to play with, so they were pretty much screwed. And if I was like living back then, I would pretty much run away so far, because there's nothing there to do. Well, at night anyway. In the daytime, there's plenty of things to do. You can play football, basketball, hurling, tennis, pretty much sporting things. And at night, you pretty much have to go inside because it's getting dark, and the only option is pretty much TV. That's all they can use, and board games as well. But not everyone had board games, so they were pretty much screwed. So let's just talk about this, step by step, really, because I have plenty of time. And this is really an interesting topic, because right now we can say, we have so much things to play with now. We have so many games. We have racing games, we have shooting games, we have football games, we have sporting games, we have pretty much arcade games, and all sorts of things, and Wii to play with, Xbox, PlayStation 3, PC games, and the internet. So right now there's pretty much so many things to do. But back then, no, they had nothing. So let's actually compare them. So comparing them is really hard because there's nothing the same besides football and TV. And it's just really hard actually to talk about this topic, really. But I really want to talk about it because there was nothing to do, and the video games and internet came out in like 1970 or something like that. That's when the internet and games was first introduced. Now, apologies if I got it wrong. I'm not a genius of history, but anyway. So yeah, but right now video games is pretty much the #1 thing to entertain yourself with. And it's kind of mostly a letdown, and it's mostly a anger issue, really, because when most people get addicted to games, they're pretty much hardcore gamers, and that means they pretty much spend their whole day on a console, which is really bad for you. And that means sitting on your ass all day long, playing video games, entertaining yourself. That kind of means that you don't really have a social life. And that means, there's no friends to hang around with because they're probably doing the exact same thing. Now, not everyone is like that. Most people, spend like an hour or 2 or 3 on a video game, and then they go out and they hang around with friends, which is pretty much the right thing to do. I'm not saying that video games is, pretty much a very bad thing to do, really. It is a good thing to do, but, not do it for so long. But some people do it and most people don't. So that kind of means they don't really have a social life, the people who spend all day on a video game. And it's kind of a letdown. And also, when you do play video games, it kind of gets you angry. It kind of gets your blood pressure building up. It kind of gets you really angry. For example, on YouTube there has been a lot of trolling videos, people getting other people mad and getting their blood pressure going, getting them really angry purposely. And it is really funny to look at, but it kind of gets them really angry, and it kind of leads them to either breaking the console, breaking the game, or the better option is to pretty much let the game out and don't play anything, or play a free roam game that doesn't make you kill anyone in a game. No shooting games or anything like that. But you know, I have came across games though when people are screaming and shouting in the mic, saying to fuck off and all that, and it is really funny to hear, and it is really funny to look at on YouTube. But you know, for the people who are in the videos and are on the microphone screaming and shouting, you know, that kind of means they're a hardcore gamer and they pretty much don't have a social life, and they pretty much want to win every single time. They mostly they get mad when things doesn't go their way, and you know, and it obviously gets them angry. And some people get happy because, you know, most people, okay, well, not most people, I keep on saying that, you know, other people gets what they want, really. For example, for Call of Duty, if they want to get a swarm, sometimes it goes their way, sometimes it doesn't, and they either get mad because they're so close to it, and then they died, and then they get mad, and then they get angry, frustrated, and it kind of leads them to breaking the game. Or it does go their way and they get the swarm and they're really happy and the swarm kills everyone, and then that's pretty much it. But you know, like with video games, it's kind of, you know, an even scale, if you know what I'm saying. Like, if this is making any sense right now, because you know, it is really an interesting topic to talk about, and you know, it's kind of amazing how video games can actually change a person's personality in a way. Because if their personality was really kind, they're really nice to people, and like every day they try and help people out if they're stuck, and on a video game it could change them completely. Because if they're on a Call of Duty and they try to get a swarm and they died like halfway when they really wanted it, and then they could get, like, that could get their blood pressure going and getting them so angry. Now, I've obviously been there before, we've all did, and if you haven't been angry at a video game once in your life, then that's pretty much weird, and it's either you being weird or not trying, which most people try, so that's not really an option, or you're just new to video games, really. And you know, you haven't been mad yet, because you will get mad, trust me. We've all been there, and you know, video games is pretty much interesting how it can do that. It's kind of like a mind control thing, if you know what I'm saying. And you know, it is really interesting how that affects people. And for the people who are living back in the 60s, then you know, they must have been really bored, really, because there's nothing really there to do for them. They couldn't really do anything besides playing a board game, which you need family members to play, and or did it even exist? No idea. So it's kind of amazing how video games kind of entertains you. It changes your personality, and you know, it's really fun. There's so many games to play. There's so many new games coming out, and I'm just glad that video games came to us, because if there was no video games, then I would pretty much be sad all day. Or if there was no internet either. If there was internet, then I'll be okay. But you know, I'm not saying that, you know, I'm a big you know, I don't like sit on a chair all day and just stare at a screen. Like, I'm not like that, just in case you were wondering. But anyway, so it is kind of entertaining, and even though this channel is actually mainly about video games, and I really shouldn't be talking about this, but it's kind of amazing how video games can also make people go on YouTube and all that. Like for this channel, for Syndicate with Gamertag, XJaws, T Martin, and so many more. And you know, it's pretty much a hobby, really. And you know, for myself and for everyone else, they're probably glad that they have video games to play with. And this is probably like the last time I'm going to talk about video games, because this is mainly a video game channel. So It's kind of weird how I'm talking about this, but anyway, hope you enjoyed it, and hope you actually enjoyed the gameplay. I changed it a little bit, so yes, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. You can click the subscribe button if you're new, and you can also comment down below to me what you think. And once again, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.